This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Good Monday morning. Time now is 4:27. I'm Meredith Barrick.
And I'm Nicole Griffin. A silver alert has been issued overnight for a missing 18-year-old out of Hamilton County. His name is Ethan Taylor.
Yeah, he was last seen in Cicero around 10 last night. He was seen wearing a red Fortnite shirt, blue jeans, flip-flops, and glasses. Authorities say he is in need of medical assistance. So if you see this young man in Hamilton County or the Cicero area, police are asking that you give them a call immediately.
Also developing, we are following a story about a Muncie mom who has been charged in connection to the death of her 3-month-old daughter.
Yeah, this is Sarah Stiles. She was arrested in connection with the death of 3-month-old Shay Anna Marie Stile. Police aren't releasing many details right now, but she is being preliminarily charged with neglect of a dependent causing death. The Delaware County coroner says the 3-month-old died on Saturday. The cause of death is still under investigation, and we are hoping to learn more about this situation later today. In the meantime, though, Todd, no need to take a vacation anywhere tropical. It is so humid out there this morning.
You know, it is, and that's exactly what all this rain was from. It was an old tropical system that was in the Gulf of Mexico that came on shore, and you're right, it is humid, it is drizzly out there still in spots, and overall not a pleasant morning. But here is the good news. Things will get a lot better as the day goes on. We're in the 60s and 70s right now, and our temperatures won't really go up much at all here throughout the day today. But the biggest thing you'll notice is, one, the clouds will decrease, but as the day goes on, the humidity will drop. So while we don't warm, it becomes more and more comfortable throughout the day. And for the most part, we're mainly dry. There's a few spotty showers right now off to the east, and that is just about it as far as the rainfall goes. And we have a pretty decent stretch of weather, I think, for this upcoming week. A little bit below normal, but we'll talk all about it here as the morning goes on.
All right, Todd, thank you. A lot of people going to be outdoors this week because school is out. And Nicole, you found a really interesting story up in Fishers.
Yeah, this is all about keeping families safe at parks and Fishers. It's similar to a neighborhood watch program, but this is called Park Watch. And what it does is it really calls on volunteers, people who use the parks every day, to get involved in their community. Any suspicious activity they see, Fishers police want them to report that information directly to them. So I'm going to tell you all about this coming up this morning.
Sounds like a great program there, Nicole. We will have that story plus plenty of news, weather, and traffic here to start your Monday morning on Good Morning Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
School is out for most kids, but keeping your child safe is a priority all year long. Straight ahead, the new technology one district is testing to keep your students safe on the school bus.
Plus, survivors say there is a big void to fill in Indiana when it comes to finding help. How one local city is now making moves to provide an advocate for victims of sex crimes. It is 4:30 on your Monday morning. Thanks for starting the week with us. I'm Meredith Barrick.
And I'm Nicole Griffin. Elena Martella in this morning, keeping a close eye on traffic for us. But first, let's start with meteorologist Todd Clausen. Todd, on my drive in from Fishers, there was a lot of rain.
Yeah, there's rain. There's some fog out there. You walk out and you basically burst into a sweat right away. It's so muggy out there. But things will get better as the day goes on. That is the good news. And here is a live look at Storm Team 6 radar. We're pretty much done with the rainfall for the day today. There could be some patchy drizzle here and there. But as far as any substantial shower activity, you have to go over just north of Richmond here, up towards Winchester. But this is slowly moving off towards the north and off towards the east. That's the good news. Back off to the west, you notice the sky's already starting to clear. There's a lot of moisture here at ground level, so while the skies are starting to clear in the upper levels of the atmosphere, it'll take a little while here at the surface. But again, the overall trend will be for this big tropical system to start to make its way further off towards the east. So as the day goes on, it gets better and better here across central Indiana. 69 right now in Indy, 68 in Peru, 70 is the current temperature in Bloomington. So as we work our way throughout the day today, by the time we get to the noon hour, the clouds are breaking. By 2 p.m., the humidity is dropping. And then it's very, very nice this evening with high temperature right around 70 degrees. The time now is 4:31. Let's get a first look at traffic on this Monday morning. Here's Elena.
All right, thank you, Todd. So if you were driving around the city, you probably have noticed this weekend. So right now, the right 3 lanes closed northbound I-65 from South Southport Road up to I-465, as well as all northbound lanes closed between the splits and eastbound I-70 from I-465 to the south split downtown. So this is underway all weekend long, and to get around it, if you're heading out the door and don't know this detour, head westbound on 465, which turns into northbound 465, then head northbound or southbound on I-65, depending upon your destination. So just keep that in mind. The hope is for all of this to wrap up around 6 o'clock this morning. Let's take a look at the roads right now. Here's I-65 at 38th Street over on the west side. You can see a little bit of a sheen out there on the roadways, but the good news is that rain has stopped. Let's take a turn over to the east side. Here's I-70 at Shadeland Avenue. Might be a little bit of fog. You can see it in that light, but again, all's moving along just fine for your morning drive.
All right, Elena, thank you. Right now, police need your help looking for a missing Hamilton County teenager. Take a good look at your screen. The Hamilton County Sheriff's Department says they need help finding 18-year-old Ethan Taylor. He was last seen in Cicero around 10 last night. He was wearing a red Fortnite t-shirt, blue jeans, flip-flops. He was also wearing glasses. Investigators say he needs medical assistance. If you know anything about where Ethan is this morning, call 911.
New safety equipment for school buses is being tested right here in central Indiana. This comes after 3 children in Fulton County were killed trying to board a bus last October. RTV6's Derek Thomas explains how the predictive stop arm works.
Danger, get back.
This bus is equipped with tools to keep your children safe.
Danger, get back.
This is a demonstration put on by Safe Fleet. When vehicles get too close to the bus, when the arm is extended and the lights are flashing, motorists and walkers get a verbal warning.
Danger, get back.
The Clark Pleasant School Corporation had a 4-week trial test of the system.
All kinds of distractions. We got kids not maybe sitting in their seats or yelling and screaming, and it only takes 1 split second for that driver to take their eyes off of the road or eyes off of that child that's passing in front of them to go home for something to happen. This way, it helps them to control what is going on, even outside the bus. And we've never had that before.
School bus driver Robin Hall welcomes the assistance.
Usually high schoolers are looking at their phone and texting. They don't even pay attention to cross the road. They see the bus pull up. They start crossing without even looking. And so I've had to honk my horn or yell out the window to pay attention.
If motorists do make illegal passes, there could be consequences.
The predictive stop arm can be integrated with our existing camera systems to be able to capture license plates of oncoming motorists and issue citations based on those violations.
This product is being tested in 5 states around the country. It will be available for purchase in the summer of 2019. Derek Thomas, RTV6.
Derek, thank you. This morning, police are warning drivers to be on the lookout for a man possibly impersonating an officer. The Rush County Sheriff's Office says a woman told them she was pulled over and ordered out of her car by a man driving a dark vehicle with red lights. They say the woman told them the man was not in uniform and showed her some kind of badge the woman says appeared fake. She did not get out of her car and instead drove away and called police. Police remind everyone that in order for any officer to conduct a traffic stop, that officer must be in proper and complete uniform or be in a marked police vehicle. If you have any information on the possible impersonator, you're asked to call the Rush County Sheriff's Department.
Victims of sexual assault and domestic violence are having a tough time finding resources in central Indiana. Brownsburg police are trying to change that. Morgan Coley is the new victim advocate with the police department. It's a first of its kind role for Brownsburg and for police agencies in Hendricks County. Morgan will serve as a tour guide of sorts for victims of crimes with an emphasis on sexual assault and domestic violence. She'll guide them through the criminal investigation process and free up detectives to focus more on solving crimes.
We have 2 advocates out of the Hendricks County Prosecutor's Office, but of course, often what happens is that case isn't to them until the criminal investigation is complete. So we just noticed in that interim that there were some things we could be doing better, and that's what we did. We determined that we were just going to try to help bridge that gap.
Morgan started her position May 13th. The job is at no cost to taxpayers due to restructuring other positions.
Indiana's 9th Safe Haven baby box will be available for use in Seymour later this week. It will look similar to this baby box in Carmel. It's installed at the fire station number 3 on Meadowbrook Drive and will be operational on Friday. The boxes give parents the option of surrendering a newborn safely, anonymously, and legally. Columbus North High School student Hunter Ward raised $10,000 for the Seymour baby box. The initiative was part of his senior project.
Residents in Montgomery County say they plan to fight against a planned hog farm. Plans show the farm being built near Linden. A proposal sent to the Indiana Department of Environmental Management shows 2 barns holding nearly 4,500 hogs. Neighbors say they're concerned about noise, smell, and increased truck traffic on gravel roads from the farm. The farmer behind the project says he's more than willing to talk to those who have issues with the project.
A federal judge says a Southern Indiana school corporation violated a transgender student's rights by not allowing him to use the boys' bathrooms at school. The ACLU sued the Evansville Vanderburg School Corporation last year after the teenager was told to use the women's restroom. The judge found the district violated the student's 14th Amendment civil rights. The judge also says the school violated Title IX laws by allowing transgender students to use gender-neutral bathrooms, but not bathrooms corresponding with their gender identity. The district's attorney says it respectfully disagrees with the ruling.
A Terre Haute man is recovering after being injured in a deadly crash involving several West Point cadets. Senior cadet Zach Potter is healing and even back at training camp after the crash late last week. Potter is a punter for the Army football team and a Terre Haute North Vigo graduate. Potter's father says he learned about the crash when his son called him from an ambulance. The crash killed 1 person when the vehicle the cadets were riding in rolled over. The investigation into the crash continues this morning.
Students on an Oregon College campus are on edge this morning. Straight ahead, how officials say video of several students ended up on a porn website without their knowledge.
Plus, the sprawling field of Democratic presidential hopefuls making it clear former Vice President Joe Biden has a target on his back. Straight ahead, we're breaking down the latest numbers in the race for the White House. Todd.
And after a fairly wet day yesterday, the rain is finally moving out of central Indiana. It'll take a little while here this morning, but eventually it turns into a pretty nice Monday for us. We'll talk all about it in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time now is 4:39. You're watching on TV 6.
10 a.m. Saturday, only at Ashley Home Store.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Time now is 4:42. Here's a look at I-65 at 38th Street on the west side. Everything's moving along just fine. Stay tuned. I'll have your latest traffic update coming up in just a few minutes.
Elena, thank you. House Democrats are launching a series of hearings this week to keep the focus on special counsel Robert Mueller's report. They will zero in on 2 main topics: obstruction of justice and Russian election interference. First up this afternoon, the Judiciary Committee will question former counsel to President Nixon about obstruction. Many lawmakers still want to question Mueller himself, but he's made it clear that his report is his testimony. Some Dems hope the investigation leads to President Trump's impeachment.
On the Democracy 2020 front, 19 of the 23 Democratic candidates descending on Iowa trying to break through that extremely crowded field. As ABC's Serena Marshall reports, their goal is to catch the frontrunner, Joe Biden, who isn't even there.
19 candidates, 1 state. Each hoping to make their mark in the state that plays a unique role in picking the next Democratic nominee.
They're ready for change, and I got a plan for that.
The Iowa caucus may be more than 230 days away, but the Democratic field is crowded. One way to hear what they all have to say: candidates speed dating. It was actually a fundraiser, but each one given just 5 minutes to make their pitch.
On all of these issues, there's a common sense way forward.
If you want a second date, go to TimRyanForAmerica.com.
One candidate not playing, former Vice President Joe Biden, at his granddaughter's high school graduation. He's still leading in the latest Iowa poll, though, and while many of the candidates throughout the weekend took veiled swipes at Biden, they didn't shy away from taking direct aim at the president.
The president has completely overblown what he purports to have achieved.
over the deal with Mexico to avert the president's promised tariffs. That includes Mexico sending 6,000 troops to their own southern border. It had been promised months ago, but the administration saying not at this number. Acting Homeland Security Secretary on Fox News.
Well, this is the first time we've heard anything like this kind of number of law enforcement being deployed in Mexico to address migration.
On Sunday, President Trump renewed his tariff threat, writing on Twitter, if their border deal fails, they can, quote, always go back to their previous very profitable position of tariffs. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
Some Oregon State University students are on edge this morning. This after learning someone is secretly recording the backsides of female students and posting the videos to a porn website. The school put out an alert on campus soon after they became aware of more than 50 videos that had been posted on Pornhub within the last 3 weeks. The website Your Local Security named Oregon State University as the safest college campus in 2018, but now some students are concerned about privacy and safety.
I can't even imagine, like, what it'd be like to be a woman walking around, like, especially with that going on. Like, it's kind of scary. Like, you don't know what the videos, like, are for and, like, why they're doing it.
An OSU spokesman says school administrators are looking into who took the videos.
A California theme park is expected to reopen this morning after being overran by plumes of smoke on Sunday. Officials say a brush fire started near Six Flags Magic Mountain, prompting the evacuation of the theme park. At this hour, firefighters are still working to put out the 2-alarm fire that's burned about 50 acres. Nearly a dozen people had to be taken to the hospital because of smoke and heat issues. Here at home, it is 4:45. A little bit of rain in our area, and it is humid out there, Todd.
Yeah, the humidity is affecting everybody this morning. The rain showers are pretty much out of central Indiana. We just have a few that are lingering here off towards the east. Muncie to Portland to Winchester, just north of Richmond, there's a few showers, and these are slowly lifting off towards the north, and there's some spotty showers as you work your way down into Westport as well as the Batesville area, and that is just about it as far as the rain goes. And yesterday we would have a quick little downpour, and then we had kind of that drizzle that was off and on. We never really got into any super heavy rainfall, but obviously a very wet feel yesterday, and we need to dry out here, and I do think we have several days of decent weather in our future. And you notice the clouds starting to break apart as well as you work your way here off to the western side of the state, and then you look further off to the west, and there's a lot of clear skies, and that's what's finally heading our way as we work our way into the coming days. So the spotty showers you see on TrueCast moves out. The clouds linger for a little while this morning, but they too will start to break apart, and we'll get back into quite a bit of sunshine very quickly throughout the afternoon hours. So patience is the name of the game here this morning. It's got to be patient, and eventually it does turn into a decent day for us. Beautiful shot this morning of the Salesforce Tower. Looking at the state capitol there, the temperature sits at 69 degrees. Now, the one thing you'll notice throughout the day today is the temperatures won't really move a whole lot. Our high only gets back up to right around 71 degrees. But this number, the humidity, which is at 96% right now, that will start to drop, and that's going to be because of this northwesterly wind. That northwesterly wind is a drier wind direction for us, and so now that the winds have switched, we'll start to decrease the humidity and also thin the clouds out. So we're still at 70 in Bloomington, 72 in Muncie, Richmond with those showers at 68, and 64 is the current temperature in Crawfordsville. The clouds will decrease throughout the morning hours. It's not going to be the snap of a finger like a big cold front's coming through. So you have to be patient with temperatures that will be in the 60s, down to 63 degrees by the noon hour, and then as soon as we get back into the sunshine, that's when our temperatures are going to start to climb back across the area, getting up to right around 70 degrees with mostly sunny skies. So if you're trying to pick between a morning workout and an afternoon evening workout, I would certainly suggest you go with the afternoon and evening workout because, again, it becomes more comfortable and it's a lot brighter later on this afternoon. Sunset this evening is at 9:13. At this point, temperatures are falling back down into the 60s. Should be a beautiful Monday night, and then tomorrow is just fabulous. We have lots of sunshine from start to finish, starting off nice and comfortable in the mid-50s, finishing with a high right around 80 degrees with mostly sunny skies. The humidity is still low, so take advantage of the nice weather tomorrow. Now, going forward in your 7-day planning forecast, rain chances come back Wednesday, but at this point, it looks like they're pretty late in the day, and they linger overnight into Thursday morning, but then things start to clear out on a Thursday morning, and then as we get into Friday, beautiful, mostly sunny, 74, and then some some thunderstorms are back in the forecast for the weekend, but that's a ways away. They don't look like to be anything major, just some pop-up storms, but we'll talk more about those as the week goes on. But right now, at 4:49, let's talk about traffic. And for that, we go to Elena.
All right, thank you, Todd. Here's a look at I-465 at I-74. Over on the west side, everything's moving along just fine. But let's take a look at the map. Couple of ramp closures to pay attention to. So right now, the southbound I-65 ramp to Lafayette Road is closed, and to get around it, you can always exit at 38th Street. So you're going to continue on the interstate a little bit further and exit there. We also have the closure from Lafayette Road, that on-ramp to southbound I-65. So you're going to want to make your way around and then enter via 38th Street. So keep that in mind. The hope is for these to open back up as we get into the 6 o'clock hour. Also, one other closure eastbound I-865, that ramp to eastbound 465. Continue on southbound 465, exit at 86th Street, head northbound on Michigan Road, and that'll get you back to eastbound I-465. Let's take a look at the roads one last time. I-65 at I-465 on the south side. Everything's moving along just fine. Just pay attention to those ramp closures.
Elena, thank you. The chase for the Stanley Cup continues this morning. Lord Stanley was inside the Enterprise Center for Game 6 last night in St. Louis. A Blues win would have ended the series, but ultimately a 5-1 win from the Boston Bruins pushes the series to a winner-take-all Game 7. Blues head coach Greg Berube says he's confident his team can still pull off a win. Game 7 will be played Wednesday at 7 in Boston.
An amusement park worker is being called a hero by one mom this morning. What she says that worker did to help calm her son at a Florida theme park.
Plus, temperatures are warming up, and that means more families will take to local parks. All new at 5 o'clock, the steps one city is taking to make sure you are safe. But first,
I'm Benny Politan. Today on the all-new Court TV, the verdict watch continues in the case of Kellen Winslow II. He's been accused of 12 different counts of sexual misconduct. Now, the jury has deliberated over the course of 4 days, more than 17 hours. They've sent out 3 notes. They've heard readback from several witnesses, but still, they have not reached a verdict. But that verdict can be reached at any moment. That's why we're on high alert here at Court TV. And when the verdict does happen, you will see it and hear it right here live.
And you can watch Court TV live on your mobile device by visiting CourtTV.com. Good Morning Indiana. We'll be right back.
That's why the bananas look so good at Meijer.
A piece of music history is up for grabs, more like a piece of a musician's history. A lock of hair belonging to Ludwig van Beethoven goes up for auction tomorrow. The hair was snipped off by the German composer himself nearly 200 years ago. Snipping off locks to give to someone was not an unusual practice during the 18th and 19th centuries. It's expected to fetch between $15,000 and $19,000. I will cut off a piece of my hair if someone wants to buy it for that much money. Gladly.
Gladly. A worker at an Orlando theme park is being hailed as a hero for helping calm a young boy with autism. 9-year-old Ralph waited all day to go on the Spider-Man ride at Universal's Island of Adventure theme park. When it was finally his time to board, the ride broke down, and Ralph's mom says he lost it. The boy was on the ground screaming and crying, and when a ride worker laid down next to him, they stayed there until he calmed down. Ralph's mom shared the experience on Facebook, thanking the magical people who made her son feel special. It's been shared now nearly 40,000 times.
That young woman should look into a future working with people with special needs and
she should.
Things like that, because it truly takes someone with a special kind of heart to recognize, you know, what's going on. So great story there. Great way to start off the week.
Absolutely. As far as the weather goes, not a great start right now, but it gets much better as the day goes on. So that's the key here. The weather just gets better and better. 68 in Indy, 71 in Muncie, 66 in Logansport. A lot of humidity around still, but the good news is the bulk of the rainfall has departed the area. Could be a little bit of patchy drizzle in spots, but look at these highs, well below normal today. We only get back up to right around 71 degrees, 72 in Bloomington, 68 in Peru. But the good news is by the time we get to the afternoon, the humidity is much lower. So while it's a little bit below normal, it's very, very comfortable with that sunshine. The time now is 4:57. Stay with Good Morning Indiana. We'll be back here in just a few minutes.